That is watching on our YouTube page and all the media for joining us here in Los Angeles, as we are only 2 days away until welterweight unification between Errol the Truth Spence Jr. and Showtime Shawn Porter. That all comes your way this Saturday from Staples Center in Los Angeles as we go live on Fox Sports pay-per-view, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Yesterday, you had the privilege of hearing from both champions, also the champion Anthony Dirrell, who will put his super middleweight crown on the line against the unbeaten former champion David Benavidez. But for today, you will get an opportunity to hear from the fighters that will be a part of our FS1 card that will precede the pay-per-view, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time, and then you will also hear from our opening 2 pay-per-view matchups. And what a card from top to bottom. I'm Ray Flores, privileged to be with all of you during this tremendous fight week. You know, Premier Boxing Champions has such a history at the Staples Center. You've had Santa Cruz and Mares 1 and 2. You had Garcia Guerrero. That was the first Fox PBC fight back years ago. You've had Garcia Easter, Wilder Fury. There's something special about Staples Center and Premier Boxing Champions. It is a perfect partnership. And speaking of partnerships, Saturday's pay-per-view card is all brought to you by TGB Promotions, Man Down Promotions, and also Shawn Porter Promotions. Want to acknowledge one of the promoters that is in the room right now. I think a man that is without a doubt needs to be in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He works so hard with his entire team, his daughter Brittany Goosen Brown, the entire team. Tom Brown, ladies and gentlemen, around here somewhere. Give him a round of applause. He knows talent more than anybody and works tirelessly throughout the year. I don't even think they know their own houses as much as they're on the road. But that is another topic for another day. Let's get an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, and also let you know that tickets are still available, but they are going quickly, AXS.com or Staples Center box office. Let's get an opportunity to meet our opening contest on FS1, as this man has a record 5 wins, no losses, 2 draws, 29 years of age, joining us from the Northeast in Massachusetts, unbeaten since turning pro back in 2017. He defeated Joe Farina last year. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Travis Gambardella. Travis.
Thank you, everyone. I can't express how excited I am to be here. It's the biggest stage yet I've ever competed on, and I'm very thankful to be here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you to Travis Gambardella. His opponent on Saturday Night Live on FS1 has an unbeaten record, 8-0, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He turned pro last February, and most recently having come off a victory over Akeem Black back in June at Mandalay Bay. That was on the undercard of Charlo and Cotto. He's just 19 years of age, could have easily fought for Team USA in the Olympics, but decided to turn professional, and he's quickly making his way up the ranks as one of the fastest rising prospects in the sport of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the always entertaining Joey Spencer.
How's it going, everybody? I'm really excited to be here on such a big event and being a part of it, and just can't wait to go out there and perform my best, go out there and put a good show on for the fans. Know my opponent's coming to fight. I'm really excited to go out there and showcase my skills. Thank you to Al Heyman for the opportunity. Appreciate you guys. See you on the night.
Thank you very much to Joey Spencer. Also, Joey trained, works with his father as well. I mean, you're going to see there's a lot of synergy when it comes to the fighter and their entire teams. A lot of family members involved, but it is perfect unison. Let's make our way up to our next contest on FS1. This man has a record 14 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. 30 years of age, who is originally from Kansas, now fighting out of Miami, Florida. Won his last 3 fights. His only blemish, a very hotly contested split decision loss at the hands of Danny O'Connor back in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jerry Thomas.
Hello. I'm grateful to be here and opportunity to fight Robert Guerrero and show everyone what I got. I'm expected to lose, and I'm not going to. So thank you.
Well, Jerry Thomas obviously going ahead and saying that the odds makers don't know what they are talking about. Let's meet the opponent of Jerry Thomas. I mean, this man has been around the sport of boxing for a long time, but he has had some memorable battles with the likes of Floyd Mayweather, also Andre Berto, Danny Garcia. He was the main event of the first ever Premier Boxing Champions event back in March of 2015 in Las Vegas. Former three-time world champion who's fought the best of the best, honestly, in his generation. 35 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 20 wins coming by way of knockout. What I could tell you about this man is that not only is he an exciting fighter, but he is a family man. You know, he works with his father, Ruben Guerrero. He has a lovely wife who has survived cancer and a tremendous family, you know, beautiful kids. And he fights for his hometown of Gilroy, California. He will expound more upon that, but Gilroy has been in the news as of late because of a tragedy that happened in that area. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the always entertaining and the former world champion, Robert the Ghost Guerrero.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Just want to thank everybody for putting this together. Thank God for the blessings, for all of us fighters being up here and be able to fight on a stage like this, especially on this card. I mean, it's huge. Just want to thank Al Heyman for blessing us all and being a great steward of boxing. Fox, thank you. Thank you everybody. Thank all the media. And I'm just ready to go. I'm in very great shape. Can't wait to get out there and make it happen. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much to Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we go live on pay-per-view, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific time. We'll start off on FS1, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. We have a tremendous night of boxing coming your way this upcoming Saturday from Staples Center in Los Angeles. Let's get into our opening contest on the pay-per-view. And look, styles make fights. And this fight coming up that I'm getting ready to talk about could very well be the main event of any card out there in the world today, because it is a fight fans fight. These two guys love to come forward, throw, and give it their all, and they leave everything inside that very ring. Let's bring up a man who has a record 30 wins, 24 of those coming by way of knockout against 8 losses. Talk about a resume. He's fought a ton of champions from 135 to 147. Adrian Broner, Omar Figueroa, also Lucas Matisse. I'll tell you a story about this man to my left. He fought Ruslan Provodnikov years ago, and Ruslan Provodnikov, strong Russian fighter, former world champion. Nobody wanted to fight Ruslan Provodnikov. John Molina Jr. said, "I'll fight him." And he beat him convincingly in upstate New York. That's the kind of guy that John Molina Jr. is. He was in a fight with Mickey Bay, was losing the fight on the scorecards, comes back and finishes him off. He was a heavy underdog. This guy has fought and earned everything that he has gotten in his professional career. Always a candidate for Fight of the Year contenders. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Covina, California, the Gladiator, John Molina Jr.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you guys for being here. Well, like they said, I believe me and Lopez are going to set the bar really high that night. It's an all-action fight. It's a great fight. You know, as a fan of the sport, I would love to just sit back and watch this fight. That's how good it's going to be. So we prepared well. We're ready to go. We'll see you guys Saturday night. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much to John Molina Jr. Let's meet the opponent who will be standing across the ring from him on Saturday night. This man also has had to fight and claw and earn everything that he's gotten in his professional boxing career. 36 wins, 8 losses, 19 wins coming by way of knockout. He gave Keith Thurman a heck of a matchup back in January live on Fox. He lost by split decision. He's been in the ring with the likes of Canelo Alvarez, Marcos Maidana, Jesse Vargas. Stable Center has a very significant meaning to this young man, as back on June 23rd, 2012, he was the underdog heading into the fight against Victor Ortiz, and he defeated Victor Ortiz. You can never count this guy out, training under the guidance of Robert Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Riverside Rocky, Josecito Lopez.
Hey, you guys, thank you for being here. I'm excited to be here. This is a great event. I want to give thanks to Al Heyman, to the entire PBC staff, TGB Promotions, Fox for having me on, and I'm excited for this fight, not only as the fighter myself, but as a boxing fan. We're really going to set the bar high and make sure you guys, everyone tunes in early, 6 p.m., pay-per-view. It's going to be all action. It's a very, very good fight, and I'm prepared for it, and I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Josecito Lopez. And with all these gentlemen, the question is, who's going to steal the show on fight night? We have Spence Porter. Obviously, we have Errol Benavidez. We have these matchups. Who's going to steal the show on Saturday night? Let's get into our world title bout at 140 pounds. First of all, this man is undefeated. 7 wins, 6 of those coming by way of knockout. Represented Turkey at the 2016 Olympics. Has scored 2 knockout victories in 2019. Also holds a victory over Ismael Barroso, the hard-hitting Colombian power puncher, last August here in Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Batyr Akhmedov.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, my promoter, Mr. Andrei Rybinski, and World of Boxing. Thank you, my team, Joel Diaz and Antonio Diaz, and my manager, Vadim Kornilov. I am ready. Я здесь не для того, чтобы много говорить. Я буду 28 числа говорить с помощью кулаков. Спасибо всем.
Hello, everybody. I'm not here to talk too much. I'm going to talk in the ring on the 28th. See you in the ring.
Thank you very much to Batyr Akhmedov. Now let's meet the man who will be standing across the ring from him on Saturday, live on pay-per-view at Staples Center here in Los Angeles. His record 24-0, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a top 140-pound contender. He's gotten 8 straight victories by knockout, and that isn't easy. As you move up in competition, we've talked about this many times in the past, but it becomes harder to score a stoppage or a knockout victory. This young man has been able, as his competition has gotten better, he has gotten better when it comes to his finishing. He's finishing his opponents. That's a very difficult task. Representing San Antonio, Texas, most recently having earned a victory over Juan Jose Velasco in just 2 rounds. Back in May, you could tell that he doesn't get paid by the round because he likes to bring an abrupt finish to his fights. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, in my opinion, one of the fastest rising stars in boxing who looks to make his dream become a reality on Saturday night. Here is Mario Barrios.
Hey everybody, appreciate all y'all being here this morning, for this press conference. I mean, this is the biggest opportunity of my career. I'm very excited. I mean, I'm very ready. At a great training camp in the Bay Area with Virgil Hunter. And I mean, I'm ready to go out there and put on a show for everybody. Thank you.
Mario Barrios, ladies and gentlemen, and now we are going to go ahead and get an opportunity to dive into some conversation with the fighters as we will go ahead and turn our attention to Travis Gambardella. Travis, for you, being able to fight at Staples Center on a card of this magnitude, obviously you have a difficult task ahead of you with Joey Spencer, but what's your take about fighting here in Los Angeles on one of the biggest cards of the year?
the dream. I mean, I'm a kid from Revere. You know, I got a call, not because of who I am, because of, you know, what I've done with my career so far, and they like the record, and they look at it like it's a beatable opponent, and it's great for him. It's a good look for him, but this is the biggest moment of my life. This is everything I've worked for the last 15 years. I'm 30 years old. I put everything from sleepless nights in a vehicle to sleepless nights on the floor to empty stomachs to anything I could possibly fathom in a day for this. So I'm thankful. I'm very thankful to be here. I thank every one of you for being here right now, listening to me, and I'm thanking every single one that tunes in to watch it, because it's been a long time making.
Thank you very much, Travis Gambardella. And let's go over to my right in Joey Spencer. Joey, 19 years of age, 8-0, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. You've been on television several times. With the way your exposure, your fighting style, do you feel like expectations have been raised, and instead of that of having the typical expectations of a normal prospect, because you have been on television so much, you have a lot of exposure, you're charismatic, and you have a fan-friendly style?
Yeah, I definitely think maybe expectations are a little bit higher for me, being that I've had so much exposure at a young age, but I like it because I'm just going to be ready for, you know, the pressure in the future faster than other people are going to be, you know. So I've had a, you know, fast-moving career so far, and I'm happy with it.
Where do you see yourself in a year's time? So as we talk to you in 2020, end of September 2020, where does Joey Spencer see himself in a perfect world?
In a perfect world, I think that I'll be becoming a top contender by that time, and hopefully being talked about with the champions, at least close to 2021. That's what I want. That's my dream. So, yeah.
Joey, thank you so much. Good luck on Saturday night. We will turn our attention now to my left to Jerry Thomas, 14-1-1, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Now fighting out of Miami. Jerry, you talked about fighting Robert Guerrero. I mean, this man has been a prize fighter for a very long time. Tell us about your ability to differentiate the fact that, hey, you know, Robert Guerrero has been and carved out what a career, but the fact of going out and actually having to fight a guy who I assume you've looked up to or you've admired or watching from afar on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's surreal for sure. It's going to be a good fight. He's a warrior, and I don't think you can take that from him. But his career is, I think, coming to an end, and I got an opportunity here that I didn't ever expect to have. I was 2 weeks prior to getting this call. I was planning a retirement fight in December. I didn't feel like my career would ever be here, and same thing. I got a good record, small hometown fights, and it got me here. But now's my opportunity to put on a show. So, you know, it's gonna be a good one.
Well, thank you very much, Jerry, and for you, Robert. You know, we've heard a saying in boxing that it's harder to wake up in the morning, and I don't know, you know, how you sleep, whatever the case may be, where you're sleeping in silk sheets and you're living the good life. You fought Floyd Mayweather. You've made a good amount of money in your career. You have done very well for yourself, deservedly so. But where does the motivation come from to continue to fight and also be a part of cards of this magnitude? Your name's been on the marquee many, many times over and over again, but where does that motivation come from?
Well, for one, Ray, I don't sleep in silk sheets. I don't even use a sheet. My wife gets mad. But, you know, just the love of the sport. You know, when you're a junkyard dog, you're a junkyard dog. It's what you do, man. You want to go out and fight. You want to make it happen. And, man, I've been feeling great. And I can't wait to get out there and make it happen. You know, I've had a 6-week camp in Vegas, and you know, the past 5 years, I wasn't even going to camp. I was staying home, marinating, and just chilling, and you know, not taking advantage of the opportunity when it would present itself. You know, so you know, when you're at that top level and that world championship level, like all these guys know up here, you can't leave no stone unturned. And I was leaving a few of them unturned, and man, it's time to go out there and take care of business on Saturday.
If you comments on Saturday night according to plan, what do you want next? If you could have your way, what does Robert Guerrero want next after this fight?
Oh, I want to jump back right into these big fights. You know, you got a stacked welterweight division, and this is where it starts Saturday night. That's why, I thank Al Heyman for, putting me on the FS1 main event. Throws me right back in line and, to be relevant again. So, I just thank God for the blessings that he's blessed me with. And, it truly is, like I said, a blessing.
Well, Robert, good luck to you on Saturday. And we will now turn our attention to our opening pay-per-view contest. The man to my left, John Molina Jr. John, when they asked you about fighting Josecito Lopez, what went through your mind? Obviously, you know his style, come forward style, but what went through your mind when they gave you the phone call?
Well, it's been a long time coming. We came up together, so to speak, in regards to time career, as long as we've been a pro. And I've always thought it would be a great challenge, because if you look at any man that has a resume similar to mine, it would be Jose. And with that being said, I was excited because I'm going to challenge myself. I know it's not going to be an easy fight. I know that he's a never say die attitude like myself, and it's going to be a spontaneous combustion. It's going to be a, like I said before, instant fight. Just add water, sit back and enjoy.
Now, we've heard reports that both you and Josecito Lopez sparred in the past. Do you remember that? And if you do remember it, can you dive into and tell us what happened in those sparring sessions?
Well, there's like an unwritten rule in boxing that sparring is sparring and fighting is fighting. With that being said, the only thing I will share on that sparring session is if that's any, foreshadowing for what the fight's going to be like, sit back and relax, because you guys are going to enjoy it.
Josecito, thank you very much, John. What do you want to say when it came to that sparring session, things along those lines years ago?
Nothing other than it was a sparring match. We have lots of sparring match throughout a training camp, so it's a good, tough sparring match against a tough warrior like himself, so it was a good match.
What does it mean for you to be fighting back at Staples Center on a high-profile card like that? I mentioned when I brought you up that you defeated Victor Ortiz there 7 years ago, but returning back to a place that holds very good memories for the Riverside Rocky.
Yeah, it's a place where I really got the opportunity to make a name for myself in 2012, and ever since then, I've been putting myself on the line and giving it my all, and it just goes to show that you having a never quit, never give up attitude and work hard, anything is possible.
Well, thank you very much, Josecito. Good luck on Saturday night. I want to ask Batyr Akhmedov to my left, who's undefeated. We have a translator off stage, but give us your thoughts about fighting a fellow unbeaten fighter in Mario Barrios and being able to potentially make your dream become a reality and hold the world title.
Что ты думаешь о том, что ты дерешься с непобежденным Барриосом, и что у тебя в этом бою может появиться шанс исполнить свою мечту, стать чемпионом мира?
Я шел к этому очень долго. На протяжении 10 лет я с первого дня ставил себе цели стать чемпионом мира. Вот он, я в шаге от него. Я отлично подготовился и думаю, что 28 числа я заберу свой пояс домой.
It was obviously a long road for me. Since day one in boxing, I wanted to fight for the world title, and here I'm step away from this title fight, and I believe in myself. I believe that on 28th, I'm going to bring the belt home.
Thank you very much, Batyr. Good luck on Saturday. Mario, for you, to my right, now having the opportunity, we're just 2 days away, and then on Saturday night, they could potentially say, and the new. What would that moment mean for you?
That moment would mean everything. I mean, my road, is 6 years in the making. I've been very patient, but I mean, the opportunity is finally here. They're trying to put him, on the fast track to a world title, but I mean, that might have been their biggest mistake.
We saw you fight at a lower weight class, but here at 140, and we've been a part of and seen you fight on Premier Boxing Champions telecast for years and years and years. But now, fighting at 140, how good do you feel? Because you look like you've kicked it up 2 or 3 levels. I mean, you seem to be hitting on all strides, wiping out your opponents.
Yeah, I feel great at 140. I mean, this is the strongest, I felt in my career, which is why my last 8 fights have come by stoppages. And I'm not predicting, a stoppage on Saturday, but, I am going in there with bad intentions.
Finally, they have a former champion in San Antonio, Jesse James Lehan. San Antonio, I don't think, to my recollection, doesn't have a world champion and hasn't had one in a long time. How special would that be for you to be able, we saw you in San Antonio last March, the crowd went crazy. Anytime you fight there, the crowd just gets bigger and bigger. What would that mean for you to be able to be a world champion for San Antonio, Texas?
It would mean everything. Like you said, it's been a long time since San Antonio has had a world champion. So now that I have the opportunity, to be the first in a while, it's going to make it that much better. And I promised my city a world championship, when I first turned pro. And it's here now. And so there's no way, I'm going back home without that title.
Well, Mario, good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our fighters that will be fighting on FS1 in the opening 2 pay-per-view matchups. Give them a round of applause. All you can ask for is opportunity. They have an opportunity on Saturday night to steal the show. We will now pose off the fighters and get them all set. Don't forget, it all goes down. Spence and Porter, along with Darrell Benavides. Fox Sports pay-per-view this Saturday from Staples Center, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific time. FS1, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. All brought to you by TGB Promotions, Man Down Promotions, and Shawn Porter Promotions. Now we will have the fighters pose off for their ceremonial stare downs. Thank you very much to the media and everyone watching back home. Thank you.